So out of you two, I'm going to go back to that good cop, bad cop thing. Who do you say is the good cop? Who do you say is the bad cop?
Yeah, I think everyone would agree. I'm good cop. That role suits me just fine. Means I don't get it in the neck or in the ear. I don't get the whinges and the moans directed towards me. I'm the middleman. I try and please both parties. So I suppose that can be tricky when I am trying to please both parties. But yeah, I much prefer being labelled good cop than bad cop. Chris, unfortunately, as manager, everything eventually gets to him. And I take my hat off to him because he puts in so many hours to that role, hours that I haven't got to give to such a role. And that's why an assistant manager's position will suits me down to the ground. He will argue that I'm the assistant manager because of the good cop label and because it's just easy and I'm relinquishing responsibility. But I would argue that's not the case. I just haven't got the time, and he's very good at it.
You guys have a good squad. Do you think if the season does return, you guys will go unbeaten?
Look, in men's and women's football, great sides have come and gone, and they all have their time, and then for whatever reason, it doesn't continue indefinitely. Chris and I know that. That's just the way football works. Often that comes with people moving, players retiring, at whatever level you're talking about. I think what we've achieved as Highcombe and then linking out of this season is unbelievable, really. And it's not just in terms of the league. It's extended to cup competitions and friendlies. I suppose we consider friendlies to be games this year because we take any that we can get our hands on. But we know where we're going, or certainly where we're heading for. And importantly for us, we're moving in the right direction in terms of the calibre of player who sees us as being able to develop them, but also enjoy their football a lot as well.
I just want to say, just in case, so that's if the league does come back. So say there is a situation where the league is just cancelled. You guys have played 3 competitive teams in the league above in friendlies, and you've won by a total aggregate of 22-1. Do you think after 2 seasons without losing, I think it's since February 2019, the last time you guys dropped points even, do you think you should be granted promotion?
In short, do I? Yes, I do. Because I think it would be better for women's football. When Chris and I have these discussions, we're the first to admit that other teams should come up with us. We're not being spoilt brats, throwing our toys out the pram, and we haven't got the blinkers on. We fully know that other teams deserve to come up with us, whether that's in our league or the league. The league that runs simultaneously with us in the southern section. Notts County, for example, and Obi and Wigston, 2 teams that we've come across at different stages, but are very, very strong. And over our three years, Chris and I know what a strong team looks like, and we can say for certain that those teams, Chesterfield included in that, are a cut above. They are strong, and they would deserve, in my opinion, to come up with us in an ideal world. But that would involve a complete restructure and might not be possible. And teams, if they find it tricky in a league above, for example, why should they relinquish their position in their league? Because technically they haven't played all the games and have been relegated. So I appreciate that people look at it from different angles. So it's a big decision for the decision makers to make, and I'm glad I'm not the one making it, because naturally you're going to upset people along the way. Hopefully it's a decision that we deem sensible and right for women's football, because we want it to be competitive, because that's undoubtedly going to improve the game.
So, as a coach, what's it like being able to look at your team, have such a dominant attack, an unbreakable defense, and that solid midfield. How amazing is it to manage that?
Yeah, it is. It makes it much easier, especially when the Worksop game and the Arnold Eagles game, the two prior to the lockdown that stopped play, we were very, very good. We saw signs inconsistently at the start of the season, but it started to click, for lack of a better term, and we were so dominant. And I think we fulfilled the potential that we knew the side had. So we were excited to see that continue. And obviously this bump in the road came along. But yeah, it's great on a Thursday night. It makes training much easier. It means we can delve deeper into what we want to do with them. And we've come a long way, and so have the players. If they've been with us since the start of this season, they've progressed. If they've been with us since Chris and I took over, everyone's moved forward, everyone's progressed, and we're a much stronger outfit, much clearer in terms of the way we want to play, and I think that shows in the performances and the results we're getting against teams, like you say, in leagues above.
Take you back to the games you played so far. I think you got to like 4 league games and then those friendlies and some cup matches. What was your favorite moment or game of this season so far?
A few spring to mind. I'll mention the Rotherham pre-season friendly because we knew how well they did the season before in the league above, and Chris and I knew recruitment was strong. We knew the team was looking good, but it was the first game together, competitive game together, and you never know. You hope, but you could never expect, and it just confirmed where we were at, and it was really, really pleasing. I then think about the loss away at Sutton Coldfield. We had to perform and match them in a department that isn't necessarily our strength, our strongest point, and we did it for the full 90 minutes. And I can see beyond the 1-0 loss in terms of how well we did, because if we didn't match them, a very good team with dangerous players and a clear game plan, if we didn't match them where we're weaker, it could have been a completely different scoreline. So that was really impressive and pleasing. And then I would mention the Arnold Eagles game because we were impressive. We've been impressive since that Rotherham friendly, but the Arnold Eagles game backed up a very good performance against Worksop, and that means something when you're stringing together performances, because winning's a habit, and we were in a position where we thought it doesn't matter who we come up against, we're going to play our game, and they're going to have to adapt to us, and we were going into games very confident. So they're three that stand out. I know I've not answered your question. I've given you I'm going to be controversial, a politician's answer, but they're 3 games that really, really stand out.
Out of all the players that you've got, who would you give your player of the season to so far?
Look, I'll say a few names because they have impressed me. Naturally, a couple of newbies. Everyone's been brilliant. Everyone's been fantastic, but a couple of newbies. I was very impressed with Frankie in terms of her. How subdued she is, modest, hardworking, and honest for the team. Heather has been brilliant. She's versatile, but Chris and I think we know where she's best and helps us. She's been absolutely brilliant and was getting better and better each game. Such a good insurance policy in the middle of the park, because she makes the defender's life so easy. She sweeps up in the midfield, denying opposition the opportunity to break on us. And attacking wise, Abby Churcher and Tracy. It's been great to have Tracy for, well, it was great to have Tracy for a prolonged period before lockdown. Yeah, so really tough question to answer, and it's naturally going to disappoint people if they don't get a mention. But we're so strong, and the players know that, and the players appreciate what everyone brings. Because if we removed one of them, we wouldn't be the force that we are. I think they know that.
And going back to you growing up with football, who was your favourite team growing up?
Well, Chris will laugh here. I always say I'm a Lincoln supporter and I follow Arsenal. So Arsenal, the 04, 03, 04 team, the Invincibles. I was 7, 8 then, just starting to tune into football, and Henry obviously is an absolute legend. So in the Prem, it would be Arsenal, and I've stuck by them and continue to follow them, Chris, up to this day, and will continue to.
So then, actually, you mentioned Song and you mentioned Henry. Who was your favourite player?
Well, I remember it because the lads at Lincoln City when I was in the youth team gave me some stick because we did a little player profile and it was me and I said Alex Song. I think it was on the website. So when I've been asked that question, it's been Alex Song that I've said. Looking back now, was he the greatest defensive midfielder ever? No, but when he was at Arsenal, because I followed Arsenal, I really appreciated what he brought. I suppose Heather, actually, after giving her a mention, she does do a very, very similar role. She can play centre half like Alex Song could, and she can also play a penetrative forward pass. Maybe that's why she stands out. In terms of best player, greatest player, it's Lionel all day long. In my opinion, greatest player to ever live. And when you watch him, my view is very similar to Gary Lineker, because I think when you watch him, he does things others never have been able to, and maybe never will be able to.
And going from the players, coaching inspiration, if you have one.
Well, I mean, at the moment, I appreciate what Michael Appleton's doing at Lincoln, to be fair. I don't know why anyone would have wanted the job. What I will say is Arsene Wenger was incredible, and money was tight with Arsenal moving to the Emirates in his latter years. But you can't look beyond Alex Ferguson for me. And as much as it pains me to say it, as an adult now, I would have never said it as a 13-year-old lad, but as an adult now, what he did, especially when City picked them for the title, as heartbreaking as that must have been, I still maintain the opinion that he would have retired if they'd have won that title. That character in his last year, that he showed was unbelievable, really, and the number of trophies and the respect that the players clearly had for him, and the way he transformed relatively average players who, after Man United, went to teams that were in the lower half, bottom half of the Prem, or even Championship teams. And he was winning titles with them and getting to Champions League finals and winning Champions League with them is pretty special.